An MP. Thank you so much, Mr. Panda, for joining us. What is it going to signify if Droupadi Murmu, going by the numbers which are coming in right now, wins? Not just wins, but wins with a massive margin.
Well, the counting shows that Droupadi Murmu Ji has a huge unassailable lead, and she is winning with a landslide margin. This is a very historic election because for the first time we have a tribal and a tribal woman as president. This is a message for the world. This is aspirational India. Just like the Prime Minister himself, Droupadi Murmu Ji herself has also come from very humble backgrounds. And it's not just symbolism. She has really worked hard and created an image for herself. She was best legislator in the Odisha Assembly. She held not any ministries, but she held important ministries like commerce and transportation, and established a reputation for non-corrupt and effective administration. She was the first woman governor of Jharkhand. So this is a woman of substance, and she has earned the right to be the first citizen of India.
And the fact that she's also an educator, and I feel that that's very important, that she spent a lot of time educating and molding what is going to be eventually the future of India. Is that one of the reasons why we've seen these celebrations and spontaneous celebrations in some of the cases in several of the tribal belts, and that is not just restricted to Odisha, but across the nation?
In fact, not just Odisha, not just Assam, where I am today, I have been participating in tumultuous celebrations with thousands of people gathering here in Guwahati and all across Assam in the tea gardens, which is full of tribal citizens of India. And by the way, this is the same thing and it's not just our tribal society. In Delhi, in Mumbai, all across the country, every state, every district, there is an outpouring of joy and affection because, people see in this much more than symbolism. They see that she has earned it. And as you rightly said, her first job was as a teacher. Then she has also worked at in government at the entry levels, and she knows what citizens have to face every day. And so this representation of aspirational India is, I think, what has created the enthusiasm across all sections of society, and the outpouring of love and emotions is just phenomenal.
But Jay Panda, interestingly, already you have the Congress appealing again this, and they have said that BJP has bribed and they have exerted their influence on the MLAs, specifically in the case of Karnataka MLAs. They've made this charge saying that BJP has flexed its muscle to push its NDA candidate through in this race. What would you like to say to that?
I think this is just the latest example of the Congress's pathetic victimhood narrative, which is not working. Their sense of entitlement. Look at today when they are creating havoc on the streets of Delhi just because the ED has the temerity to question their leaders, where the court has also found prima facie evidence and given them bail. Contrast that to Prime Minister Modi, who submitted himself to authorities even as he kept winning at district court, at high court and Supreme Court. So that's Congress. The reality is, in the presidential election, there is no party line vote. It's not by a whip. People vote on their conscience. So I asked the Congress, what about the Congress senior MLA in Odisha, Muhammad Mukim, who has openly defied the Congress High Command and voted, no allegations of any inducement. Openly he has said that this is such an inspirational choice of Droupadi Murmu Ji that he feels compelled to vote for her. So how do they explain that?
But cross-voting, it does seem that it has happened. Going by the numbers which are already coming up, it does seem that there would have been quite an extent of cross-voting in favor of your candidate.
Let me explain again that there is no issue of cross-voting here. This is not like a typical parliamentary vote where there is a whip and members have to follow. This is a conscience vote. And, look, cross-voting is when an MP or MLA defies their leadership, as I've given the example of the Odisha Congress MLA. But what about so many opposition members, opposition parties of the UPA, like JMM, like YSRCP, like TDP,
yes,
like TDP, like BJD. These are not parties with the BJP. but they have officially announced that they're supporting Droupadi Murmu Ji because she's such an inspirational choice for president. So
for conscience. Let me go across to Mohit Bhatt. He is joining us from outside.